eyes are getting happy.
Good evening, everybody.
Hello.
As you can see, it is Michael and myself tonight, and Annmarie. There is no collar, no mediumship tonight. It's just going to be a chat and conversation. It's going to be open to your comments and your questions as well. And somebody's just come to the door, so Michael's just going to try and sort it out. Get down. So tonight is a different evening. Those of you who watch regularly will know that last week, I think it was, I did a bit of a philosophical talk about the need to think about death and funerals and things of that nature. And Annmarie was joining in the conversation, and we decided to do a chat with, so hence we're here. And bless her, Annmarie is at a birthday tea, which is why it's a bit noisy at her end, but bless her, she's still taking the time out of her night to have a chat with us. This conversation was I thought about because I watched a YouTube video about a young lady who was transitioning, who, because she hadn't appointed any next of kin or anything like that, her father had basically detransitioned her, cut her hair, took all her makeup off, and insisted she was dressed in masculine clothes. And I just thought that was awful. And that set me off thinking down the line of people in our community need to think about this maybe a little bit more than the rest of us. So here we are, having this strange conversation. So how are you, Annmarie?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
Good. Do you want to explain why you took an interest in the conversation I had the other night?
Well, it's a few reasons. I mean, obviously I work in the industry and we deal with it.
That's the main one.
And
Annmarie actually has her own funeral business.
Yes, Annmarie, introduce yourself.
Yes.
yeah, hi, I'm Annmarie. I work with my husband. We've got our own funeral business. So death's something that we deal with daily. I got interested in death after my brother died, and I wanted to know what happened and what they were going to do with him, what they did with him, because obviously nobody knows what happens between the person passing away and the funeral, really.
No. And that's a really good point, isn't it? Because people just hand over their loved ones to the funeral director, and that's it. And I don't think people realise that you can be a little bit more involved in the whole process.
And I think it's a key point, which is we never really get interested in anything until it affects us. And the moment something affects us, then we start wanting to understand.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's way too late in the process.
Yeah. I mean, on my part, because of my beliefs and my religion, I'm not scared of the whole process, but I can't imagine sort of just handing over my mum to somebody and just letting them run with the whole process. I feel like I want to be more involved than that. And I guess what I want tonight to be about is for people to be able to ask questions and say, well, if I want to do X, Y, and Z, am I allowed to do that? You know? And that's where I want to come from on this. Because I would be quite happy for Michael to ring somebody when I pass away, then come, take me to a crematorium, cremate me and bring me back to the ashes. You know,
I don't want the ashes back. What do I want there?
doorstop. You can get that metal ornamental one we've got. You can just put me there.
Oh, God.
But yeah, that's the sort of thing. And I mean, especially over the last sort of year or so, when people haven't been allowed to have that process of saying goodbye to their loved ones and things, I think it's very important for people to grab ownership of the process.
Yeah.
You know, and so what type of things have you been asked for, Annmarie?
Oh,
Type of
all
things do people?
sorts. All sorts. We do hair, we do makeup, we dress them. We've been asked to cut hair, we've been asked to cut toenails, paint fingernails, paint toenails, shower them, shave them, whatever anybody wants. We just do it.
Yeah, I agree with Suzanne there. It's very important to talk about what you want and make sure your wishes are granted. Yeah, I think it's very important that you've got a voice.
Well, we had that with my dad. He planned it.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he wanted. And as much as some parts of the family weren't happy with what he wanted, that wasn't relevant, to be honest. It was, this is what we've been told we need to do.
Yeah.
Now let's just do it.
I mean, his dad, bless him, he wanted a cardboard coffin because he didn't want to waste any wood or anything like that. So he wanted this cardboard coffin. He wanted to be dressed in he used to wear Hawaiian type shirts. So he had one of them on, and he and he had Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf.
Yes, we had a Meatloaf.
Yeah. Paul Higgs got a question, Annmarie. Oh no, that's it. So, how can pallbearers carry the coffin into the service, but you can't touch it? His wife passed during COVID, and they weren't allowed near the coffin, but the pallbearers carried it, and I think that's where Paul's coming from.
Right, that was wrong, because it doesn't matter when your loved one passes away and what they pass away with. Everybody has the right to touch the coffin and to touch their loved one if they so wish to. So in that instance, the funeral director was actually in the wrong not allowing him to do that.
That was my understanding, that you had every right to touch your loved one's coffin if you wanted to.
Yes, you do. And being stopped, it means the funeral director who told him that was in the wrong. They had no right to say that wasn't allowed at all.
Paul, don't apologise. He said, sorry, I thought the questions had started. The questions start whenever you want to.
Keep asking questions.
Yeah, keep asking questions, because it is important to ask questions about these things.
Well, it's the only way we learn. We learn through asking things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we just know what we know.
Yeah. It's like I said the other day when I did that little bit of a talk about this, and we started thinking about this Q&A. As I understand it, Annmarie, and correct me very much if I'm wrong, you can still have your loved one at home.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Dress them and do all of that side itself, and then have a funeral director come to sort everything else out.
Yeah.
You can. It's lovely if that's what you choose to do. It is. It's really nice. Because I think a lot of times people don't understand this process, and they don't understand that they have rights.
Well, you don't understand the process until you're in the process.
No, exactly.
And then it's too late to start learning what you can and can't do.
It is.
The most important thing to remember is, at the end of the day, when somebody passes, they're still your family, and you still have every right to have your wishes and their wishes adhered to. It doesn't matter how crazy, you think they are or whatever. Our job as funeral directors is to make sure that everything is as the deceased and their family wish.
Annmarie, what college courses, qualifications do you have to go into the industry?
None.
That's a question from Sophie. She's just...
Yeah, none at all. I haven't got any. I went into it without any qualifications or anything. I went into it because I was interested, and I learned on the job.
I was actually when I did my jury service, one of the guys on there, I thought it was very strange. He arrived in this black suit and white shirt and dark tie, and I thought,
just come straight from work.
And he had just come straight from work, so he was a funeral director, or he worked for a funeral director, and he got into it because when his nanan passed, her funeral apparently was appalling, and he thought, I don't want anybody else's family to go through what we've gone through with my nanan, so he went into the industry.
Yeah.
Suzanne Symes, if you plan your funeral and pay in advance, can anyone change it after you pass? After you die?
No. It's all written and signed for, then no. Unless we have written permission from the deceased that somebody can change it after their death. No, we always go by what's on that plan.
Yeah, excellent. And Paul's asked, do you get emotional at times with services and funerals?
Definitely, especially if it's a child.
Yeah, I can imagine that will be difficult.
I mean, a lot of the time you do have to sort of shut yourself off because you don't know these people. But I'd be lying if I said that services didn't make me emotional.
Yeah, I can imagine it will be really tricky. Suzanne says, thank you for your response. She appreciates that. So, what's the most unusual thing anybody's asked you for?
Never again.
Well, I'm in public, so I'm going to put it nicely. A man turned round and said that obviously his wife had passed before him. It was double grade. He wanted to put in his coffin face down because he says that whenever he was on top of a room, when he was alive, he was stiff and he was going on top of a stiff again.
Oh, that's hilarious. I love that. That would be a funeral that I wouldn't get emotional at, I don't think.
That's what I post on Twitter.
Yeah. But you can...
I don't know that.
Sorry, Alexa.
That's
the manager out.
That's one you can steal from a hotline.
I will say I may steal that.
It's surreal, it's great, but it does happen.
Sophie's following a line of questioning here that I can see where she's going with. Have you ever had someone that's done something awful, like murder, and thought, it's not a funeral I really want to do?
Yes, we have. Not murder. We picked them up from the prison and they were serving a sentence. They were far too interested in children. And they were kept in a separate room from the rest of the deceased. We wouldn't even put them in the same room out of respect for everyone else. And because I couldn't show him respect, I stayed away. Because there was nowhere for him to show him respect, so I refused to go in the room, full stop.
Yeah. And can you refuse to do to plan a funeral like that for somebody?
Yes.
That ties in with the original point I made about the transgendered person, because...
Well, let's go back on that. What she actually said was, the funeral director who done the job said, but I didn't have any choice. No response was, you could have turned the work down. You didn't have to do it.
Yeah, you didn't have to cut her hair. You didn't have to put her in a man's. You could have said, no, I'm not doing that. You'll have to go to somebody else. So, yeah, because funeral directors, as I understand it, are private businesses, it's like any business. If you don't want to sell somebody a car, you wouldn't sell them a car. So
You are not.
you are not forced to take the work on if you don't want it.
No,
But
no, you're not.
I do respect any person like yourselves who would take on that type of work where you think, well, actually, nobody else wants to deal with this person, so
Yeah.
somebody's got to do it for
But
them.
in some way, it's got to be done.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line, somebody has to. It was
It's
like,
got to be done at some point.
yeah, it was like somebody. Oh, Michael, what have you done?
I think I've just stuck some. Just our monitor's gone off.
Oh, our monitor's gone off. Just a second, sweetheart.
We still see you on Facebook.
Oh, there we are. Michael decides he wants to clean the monitor and touched a button and it switched something off. Yeah. Something else I watched was a funeral home that dealt with one of the terrorists from the marathon in America where they blew up the finish line. And they said, that the authorities took that body, if you like, round lots of different funeral homes, and they were all saying, "I'm not touching them." But there were actually kids outside the guy who said, "Well, I'll do it,"
Sometimes it's just a case of I'll do it because once it's done, it's done. It's out the way. They've gone. They're not there anymore.
That's it, isn't it? It's a case of let's just draw a line under it and get it dealt with, rather than drag it on and the pain for the families of the people who were killed is sort of that healing process.
Sometimes you just have to deal with things to move on.
Oh, bless. Jean, who works with me, says she got told she couldn't see her friend because she was unrecognisable. That's sad.
It is sad. We wouldn't say no ever. You can recommend that you'd advise against it, but yet again, no right to say no.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Claire's arrived. Hi, sweetie.
Hello. Sorry I'm late to the party.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, fine. Don't worry about it. I know the day you've had.
Oh, yeah.
Jade Whiteway, is embalming always done on a deceased person?
No, not at all. Only if it's requested by the family or they're going abroad.
Yeah, and it's actually better for the environment and things if you don't, if it's a burial, because all those toxins leach into the ground afterwards, which is not nice.
Exactly.
Can you have a natural burial over here?
Say that again.
In the States, they have this thing called a natural burial where...
Hang on, what's non-natural burial?
No, just let me explain. Where the body's wrapped in a shroud and buried in... They have forests where they plant trees on top of the deceased, or saplings on top of the deceased.
Yeah, so a green burial, yeah.
Yeah. So, do they do them over here?
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I would be buried, you see. Otherwise, I'm going in the oven. Because no. But yeah, if I can have that done, I might change my mind. Yeah. Sophie, can I come and work with you and be a funeral director too? She'd love to do it. Oh.
Bless you. If you're interested in it, seriously, just go to your local funeral homes and you'll find a lot of them have been more than willing to let you be there and help out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul Haig, I'm with you on that one.
Paul Higgs says, "You ain't burying me." Imagine having your daughter burying you.
I have this strange thing that burials are final and cremations aren't. And I don't know what it is about putting somebody in the hole in the ground compared to just that curtain closing. But it's a totally different concept to me.
I think
I don't know why
a lot of it, I think, is with burial. You've got somewhere to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a marker point. There's somewhere to go. However, they're not there.
Yeah.
No,
All
they're
that's
not.
there is an empty shell, so it doesn't matter. And you said the curtain closing. You can ask for the curtains to be left open. They don't have to be shut.
No, they don't. They don't. But my father's parents were buried, and it was just the walking away and leaving them was awful. I mean, it was cold. It was raining. It was muddy. It was horrible, and I had to leave my grandma there, and it just felt awful. But I think if I thought, well, there's a tree planted and that's growing from her, that would feel better for me. Yeah, that would feel better for me. What's the place? Oops. Sorry, Claire, did you pick that as well? This says, my first husband was American and all family funerals were open casket, which was a bit of a shock. Yeah, I can imagine. Hope that never catches on over here. Paying respects at a chapel of rest is one thing, but the whole service being an open casket. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I suppose you could ask for it.
You can ask for it. You can, and that's down yet again to the individual funeral director and the church involved as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, a lot of it's about people's customs and traditions. So there must be very different cultural ways of doing things.
There are.
And you go by whatever culture that person's in.
Yeah. In a book I'm reading, it's about a funeral director actually at the start of her journey into the business, and she's working in a crematorium, and she said, I've forgotten what culture it is, but they have to actually come and witness the cremation.
Yes, some do.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced anything spiritual in your funeral home?
Yes.
Moving shadows? Yeah. I thought you would.
Yeah. All the time.
I can imagine. People it's probably the people you've got in just hanging around to see what's going on with them.
Yeah, they just
Helen, this is a big question, an important one.
Yes, I was just coming to that. Helen's asked, as a trans person, it scares her that she could be misgendered in death. And can she have burn baby burn parade if the curtains closed?
Right, we'll start with the most important one. You would never be misgendered. If you come to us as you are a lady, you will be a lady. Your name will be correct as a lady. We would never take away from you at all. You're a lady in life, therefore you're a lady in death. And you can have whatever song you want played.
Yeah, but would another funeral home, if her next of kin said, actually, Helen is called, I don't actually know Helen's other name, but let's say Bob.
She's living as that. She's living as Helen, so no, they couldn't change that.
Right, brilliant.
Nobody could change that because she's living as Helen. So.
Yeah, because that's one of my concerns. My concerns for a few people that in death they would be misgendered and dead named.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything worse.
Not now. I mean, I think it may be used to, but definitely not now.
No. Oh dear.
Definitely.
Trace has said her father-in-law was so over-made up for the open casket, he looked like a clown. Oh, that's awful.
That's awful. That's awful.
Suzanne Symes has said even if her family, i.e. next of kin, wanted, or would you go off the name on the death certificate if it was a trans person?
You'd have legally, we'd have to put the name on the death certificate on the coffin, but we can also refer to them as who they're living by, and that name will also be on the coffin, and that'll be the name used during the service.
Yeah.
So it
Excellent.
doesn't matter what the family say or anything else, because they're living legally as that person. Then we can't go around changing that.
No. Good. Oh, bless. Really interesting. Thank you. That's alleviated a lot of concerns about some of our. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless. Has anybody else got any other questions? Yeah, Paul, I remember the message from Lynn where she said she was at her own funeral. Yeah.
I think they do.
Well, I want to, just to make sure.
Just make sure we're doing it right.
Yeah. Nicola, who's Helen's sister, says, "Have what you want. I'm too scared to come back and film me."
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't cross Helen in life, so we really don't want to cross Helen in death.
No, this is the thing, isn't it? It's like we have some family that I would say I would quite happily pay for a prepaid funeral, subject for me being able to put the date on it.
Yeah. Expiry date.
Yeah.
And what's Sophie saying there? I'd want to make sure they play all of the right songs. Yeah. Yeah. That's me. All the right songs, all the right readings. Otherwise, there's trouble.
No, you are getting none of that rubbish. You are getting 20 seconds, and that's your lot.
Suzanne, what
Party
happens
after.
if you prepay for the funeral and the company goes? I'm assuming that's bust.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it happening, but
it can.
it can. I suppose.
It'd be covered because obviously most funeral companies don't have their own plans. It's done through a third party. So
Yeah.
if in that case it went bust, it'd just be passed on to another funeral home.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking there, and assume it's really the equivalent to an insurance plan. So they tend to be underwritten by insurance companies.
Yeah.
A lot of people do now.
Yeah. Well, I've got some literature from Pure Cremation, and they say should they go bust, there's other companies that pick up their clientele and they get paid for it.
Yes.
So yeah, it's fine. It is a good way to go, I suppose. And then you think a pre-play plan that is, because then it's all covered and nobody has to think about it.
Tony, I'm not being rude, but I'm going to pop off because we're just having this meal. And with it being a
That's
birthday, I've got time with her. But I will come back at some point. We'll have a longer chat.
Okay, darling, no problem. See you
later.
Bye. Thank you. Oh, bless her. No, that was really interesting because it is important, and I just thought it was important for us as a community to think about what happens. Yeah. There. Thank you for that. That's what I want. The funeral without the ceremony, but co-op so you can't prepay. Maybe not from the co-op, but there are other companies about that will. And Annmarie was saying that because her and her husband have their own business, they would be quite happy to do that and set that up. they would arrange for that and do it as a prepaid plan for you.
A lot of independent ones do, yeah.
Yeah. And the same with Trace. She was going to ask about pure cremation. She has a family member who's signing up. There's a few of them around now. There's pure cremation, simply cremation, and a couple of others. So it's worth shopping around. And actually, excuse me, they're all around the same sort of price now.
Yeah, well, they would be.
You know,
And when you look at the service they offer, it is a very simple, basic service.
it is. They come pick up your corpse when you've. Hi, Jill. They'll come pick up when you pass, take you straight to one of their crematoria, and then the ashes get dealt with as you wish. They'll either get sent back to your loved ones or scattered in one of their fields, which is really, really good if that's what you want to do. A lot of thanks for Annmarie. Thank you for that. It was good of her to give up her time, even though she was at her 40th birthday. Bless her. Yeah. If you
So, Paul, is this what you're thinking? That's the one, isn't it?
all right.
Come on, Bobby, let's go party.
Yeah, shop around and have a look at Suzanne. It's worth looking if that's what you want.
And that's the thing, isn't it, Paul? It's somebody's favourite song. And as much as some people will look and say it's inappropriate, that's not relevant to anything.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's what you want. It is definitely what you want. He had a lovely coffin, and we saw it even though we weren't meant to. Oh, bless. But you see, I don't even want the coffin thing.
Oh, God,
that's
no.
just a waste of
I quite like the
resources.
idea of a wicker basket.
Not even that. I just want wrap me shroud and chuck me in.
It's like my dad says, he's worked with wood all his life. He don't want a wooden coffin, but he don't want it either because he don't like it. So he just wants a body bag on back of a key line wagon.
Yeah,
because plastic just won't work. It'd just melt.
Yeah.
You'd end up looking like a pharaoh.
That's exactly what Michael's dad had, Trace, a cardboard coffin. And it was just a cardboard coffin.
Mm-hmm. And it looked perfectly reasonable. It did the job.
Still expensive.
Oh, God, yeah.
It was still expensive.
As the Undertaker said when she came around to chat about it, well, we just need to wait till the co-op opens so we can nip round the back and nick a box.
Yeah. But I do like the thought of those green burials where they just wrap you in muslin and put a sapling on top. That'll do me. Because you just, if something can live out of your passing, then that'll be much, much better.
Well, I like the experimental idea where what they do is you are basically dropped into a field and they assess how your body decomposes for science.
Oh, yeah, body farms.
Yeah.
America's got a few.
I believe we got them here.
We have got them here as well.
Here.
But yeah, I love the green idea, Jade. I think that's wonderful, yeah.
But otherwise, I want a nice wicker coffin.
Jean's husband, Stuart, he says anything as long as it's got holes in.
Yeah, does he get buried?
He's claustrophobic.
Yeah.
And he can't stand the thought of being in a box, so he wants holes so he can see out.
Fair enough, yeah.
I'm hoping I can't see when all this happens.
Well, that was my point, but... Oh!
Yeah.
I'd quite happily do that, yeah.
Yeah, me too. Donate your body to medical science for doctors to learn.
The moment I was old enough, I signed up for all the organ donation stuff, because I'm not going to want it. So anything that's useful for anybody else, they can have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Suzanne, that was a long. I'd use the money an ordinary service would cost to lease a tree for 20 years, so something is living on, and we can just go and sit under it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? If you have what they call
Hello, Jill.
a green funeral and the tree's planted where you're buried, your family can go and sit with you.
Well, there has to be a movement away eventually from the concept of churchyards.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
madness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is that thing about lead lined, isn't it? Which is a very American thing. But I believe there are issues of when a body is moved from one country to another. That I think it's mandatory. Along with the idea, as Annmarie said, about embalming.
Yeah.
That it's mandatory.
It's not.
It
is if you
for
move
movement.
countries.
So if you die abroad and you want your body repatriating,
yeah,
you will
got to be embalmed.
Mm.
Okay, Sophie, bye, darling. Oh. There's rules. There's rules about being buried in your own garden and things.
Mm.
But
it's an interesting concept.
It is. Because what if you family move?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You leave Uncle George in the garden.
Yeah.
And then 20 years later, the new owners get accused of murder because they found this body when somebody digs the garden up.
There are criteria around on everybody. But it's an interesting topic, and I think it is something we'll go back to and revisit. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else people want to bring up about? Oh, your nan's there.
Yeah.
How's her finger?
Still there.
She got to go back to the hospital at 9 o'clock in the morning for a cardiovascular scan.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to dig them up, chuck them in the back of the trolley of the moving van and take them to wherever.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? How do you keep track of all these things?
Yeah.
But and what if you move into a flat?
Well, have I ever told you about the story about my friend and her cat? And
no.
Right. One of my friend's daughters is autistic, and the family cat wasn't very well, and had to be put to sleep. But it was, you can't let him go. You can't let him go. I need to say goodbye. But she was out in America at the time. So the only option was, my friend's husband is a vet. So they euthanized the cat. But then so my friend's daughter could say goodbye, they put it in the freezer.
Oh my.
And kept it in the freezer until she came back from America.
Wow. And what then? You just thaw it?
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, one of my first ever university projects was
Yeah. Helen, nice cremation, then put in a firework, shot over the Houses of Parliament and shower them in your dust. A lot of responses to that one, Claire?
Yeah.
Yes, I wrote a whole business plan. Yeah, I did a whole business plan. Freeze drying pets.
Yeah. How do you? You can't freeze dry your pets. No.
Why not? Pip, don't listen.
There was a case in America of a drag queen who somebody went to borrow a frock from her and went into the walk-in closet, and there was a dress bag stuffed in the corner, and they noticed something oozing from this dress bag, and her ex-boyfriend, the drag queen's ex-boyfriend, was in the
I'm hoping you're making this up.
No.
I really am hoping you're making this
Watch
up.
Caitlin's channel.
Oh my God.
American drag queen, and
I'm
she had
taking
the
the
body in
remote
the
off,
closet. Yeah. They reckon they'd had an argument, and she whacked him and stuffed him in the closet. But how did the apartment underneath not notice the smell?
Yeah.
Is this the stuff he watches when I'm away?
Yeah. He misses you greatly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking the remote control with me next time.
Trace remembers that episode. See, I wasn't making it up.
Oh
Yeah.
my.
The body in the closet. I love Caitlin Doherty.
Mandy, I think, yeah. But would you really want them sat in your living room? Well, the Egyptians did.
I know in America you can't taxidermy a person. It's called desecration of a body.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure we'll have similar laws over here. But they used to take them round like carnivals.
Mm-hmm. They did.
And that's just not nice.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the thing that rituals have changed to a point where, at one point, even in this country, if you go back to Victoria's time, that people literally have the photos taken with them.
Yeah, stood up.
Yeah.
So people would be posed in positions, and people would have dinner with them and all the rest of it.
You can still do that. You can,
but you won't do that
if you have your loved one at home, which is your right to do up until the funeral. You can have them in your home for as long as you want, and you can do.
Yeah.
You can be with them and do what you want with them, but I mean, I still think. I don't know Jeremy Bentham. I'll research that though and have a look. But yes, I know if Michael passed, I could.
What do you mean if?
Or when, if I'm still here, I could have him at home, wash him, prepare him, yeah. You can't do all those things, Paul, because that's illegal. You just can't with the body.
Do you notice I've got to wait for all these nice things like him washing me and all the rest of it until I'm dead?
It would be the only time, darling, I would put your pants and socks and things on for you. No.
How do you know I might have some extreme problems and you might have to?
That is
Sometime
the only
in the
time,
future.
darling, I would. How do you spell Ben? I'm having a look for that.
Very
Yeah, we would. Pose for portraits and things. Oh, yes. Haven't they decided? Yes. Haven't they decided it's not really him now, though? It's a waxwork. But it is his scalp and hair.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. That's
Bentham, yeah. And he was an English philosopher, jurist, social reformer, regarded as the founder of modern utilitarianism. So, yes, he sat in a box, isn't he? He sat in a box.
And yes, they did, Jess. That's exactly what they did. They would take people and you would do the whole family portraits.
Yeah. Of the deceased.
Yeah.
She does, yes. She sings Bentham's Head, I remember now.
But when you think, if you also go back to those times, when look at all the jewellery that was made. So it was fairly normal to have jewellery made out of hair and things like that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And slowly and steadily, these things are coming back.
There is a queen who had someone who was circumcised, and she had a ring made out of the bit that was left.
Why?
No, one of the Catherines, I think it was.
Well, I suppose the plus is it'll probably always stretch and fit. Resizing is probably dead simple.
Oh no, Michael! Please stop!
No, we've gone too far down an avenue here. I think we need to reverse. But yeah, I do think we've covered about as much as we can.
And interestingly, we now have another person in the industry on, which is Lee.
Oh, yes, Lee's in the industry. We're talking all things funereal and things, Lee. We've just had Annmarie Korver on, who's had to leave because she's having a family meal. We were just continuing the theme of what you can do with the body.
If you fancy doing it, you're welcome to come on.
Yep. Is that Danny?
It is Danny, yeah.
You dressed?
Yes, he had a shirt and. Hi, Danny. You can't. There's a lot of stuff they can't cremate, so I think it gets taken off. And another time, Lee, you're more than welcome. But do you know that bit? What happens with jewellery, glasses and stuff? I'm guessing they don't go with the body, because I know that's one of the last things that's done. The body's checked for anything that is but I know hips and things are taken out afterwards.
Afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, once the body's cremated. I'm not sure. I know it doesn't go to the funeral home. I think if it's jewellery and stuff, I think it'll get returned to the family.
Which
and glasses and things.
I would assume everything that's not cremated is probably returned to the family.
Yeah.
Or the option is for it to be returned to.
Yeah. Yeah. Michael would just say, give me it now. You can do what you want with him. It's entirely the family's choice. Okay. I know pacemakers have a problem, so they're taken out, as are breast implants, because they make a mess. They just loop. Yeah. But you got Jess Rayner got all of Grandpa's glasses, rings, etc. back. Yeah, exactly. I know. It's not. But my great grandma was buried because she got her wedding rings with her.
Mm.
They went with her. I'm not sure if they would have if she was cremated, though.
Mm.
I'd want them myself. I mean, my mum's wedding ring and things, I think I would want them as a keepsake. But anyway, I do think we've gone as far as we could. I wonder. Oh, that's lovely. That's really cool, Lee. I think that's wonderful. Yeah.
That would be my logic, which is you find
an ethical
way to work with whatever's left.
Paul, you just had to mention, didn't you? You had to bring it up at some point.
Of course he did. Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
They don't know where Nick Brown's dad's teeth are. they don't know where they went. The hospital lost them. But yeah, it is a topic I want to explore again. So Lee, if you're up for it, I'd be more than happy for you to come and do another talk with us if you'd be up for that. So good. I'll be in touch, matey. I'll be in touch.
Yeah, definitely.
So thank you everybody for sticking with us. I know it could have been a really dark and miserable topic, but it's something I feel important that we should talk about because, like I said, especially in our community where we're not sure what can happen, then it's something I think we need to explore.
Well, I suppose it applies to everybody though, which is you want to be in that position
Where you
have autonomy over what's going to happen.
finally, as soon as you're well enough, let me know, and we'll be in touch, and we'll get it set up.
Yep.
Because I think a different perspective would be really, really useful. It is, Trace. It's all part of the great journey, and it's how we get rid of this corporeal form to move forward into the next.
Claire, David disagrees with this. Have the discussion with him.
No, Michael, no. If you've had the discussion and you know the answer, that means I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going
because
there.
you don't need to. You don't need to, do you?
Yeah. If I know he's going to start and disagree, I'm not even going there.
No. Lee,
no, it's just not happening. No.
Lee, good luck with your surgery, my friend.
Yeah.
Good luck with your surgery. Let me know how it goes.
But there is absolutely no luck required in surgery because the surgeons are always good.
They are.
They're not allowed to play with knives otherwise.
Yeah, what I mean is I hope it goes well and I hope you recover well. Danny,
where's the coffee?
Where's my coffee, Danny? Where's my coffee?
Yeah, need coffee.
Yeah.
That's it. He's waiting on the side for you.
All right, okay.
It's here.
Yeah, that's my advice. All this started, Lee, because I watched people have heard this. Watched a video on YouTube about a trans person who didn't nominate a next of kin, so her father was her next of kin, and switched her gender back, cut her hair, took her makeup off, dressed her in a man's suit and tie for a funeral, and her friends went mental. And that's where this came from for me, for people to plan it and to think about their funeral ahead of time. But Annmarie reassures me that no UK funeral home would do that necessarily, but I would still want to be safe. Better safe than sorry.
Oh, God, yeah.
But anyway, thank you, everybody. It's been really... Oh, Lee, no.
Yeah. No.
No, I just...
Heartbreaking.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Like Annmarie said, Annmarie runs her own business, and she said she just wouldn't. She wouldn't take the business. It's awful, heartbreaking.
Yeah, that would be the answer, which is you just walk away.
Yeah, bless. But thank you for your time, everybody. Thank you for sticking with me.
Yes,
it's been really good.
That,
Annmarie, if you're watching this back, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, sweetheart. Come back soon. Come back soon, Lee, after your surgery. Let us know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And we will speak to you all soon. The next service will be Friday night.
depending on what time we get there.
Yes, depending on what time we get.
Maybe later Friday
to the caravan,
night.
But we will be online Friday night because we will be travelling to the caravan, but we have a chap decorating our bedroom.
Claire, we've given up and we've just got a decorator in Friday.
Yeah. There's a young man coming Friday to sort out our bedroom for us. So good night and God bless everybody. Talk